Oh, that's a big whitefish. I wasn't prepared for that. Better get the net on this one. Howdy folks, got out here today, found a little, I believe it's a nest of little black crappie, all stacked up in here. I'm going to drop the crappie magnet roo, fairly new bait from Crappie Magnet. It's got a little pouch in it, you can put sand in it if you need to. I'm just going to drop it in like it is, got it paired on the eye hole hammer jig. And there looks like about 10 of these guys down there. See if I can't catch 2 or 3 of them. That Butler gold color really matches this watercolor, and so we'll see how that works out. I'm gonna try to approach them from a distance, see if they'll come and get it before I just drop it right in the middle of them. See how many of them I can get to come to me. That way I don't spook off too many of them. Here comes one. I got one shopping. I just kind of take it away from him. He's going to hammer it. Bam, got him. Didn't bother the rest of the stack. Reeled him up kind of slow because they're down there pretty deep, 25 foot deep or so. And I'm putting them back. I don't want to kill them, so. Good healthy black crappie, be a couple of good chunks of meat there on them loins. So that's one. See if I can get a couple more. Again, I'm not putting it right on them. I'm waiting until they see it from, I'm down about 19 feet and they're about 23 feet, so. Oh, we pulled loose. I've been seeing this big fish back here behind them. These guys ain't gonna play right. I'm gonna drop back there and see if I can get close enough to him that he, oh, got one. Ease him up here. Keep him from getting the bends. This feels like a fairly heavy fish. Is it a whitefish in there with them blacks? No, it's just a bigger black. Yep. Oh, that's a heavy one. That is a heavy one. Put that one on the scales just to see if it might be a tournament size fish. See that bladder starting to come out down there. I don't like that. Hopefully he'll swim back down and everything will be fine. 180, yeah, that might be a helper in the tournament on Saturday. Let's see what happens when we put it back. Pulled loose. The stop worked that time. Worked on that one. All right, number 3. Oh, that's a big whitefish. I wasn't prepared for that. Better get the net on this one. That's for sure. Tournament fish. Deuces Wild 222. Pretty good wahoo right there. Definitely want some more of these on Saturday. Saturday's weather may not cooperate with us too much. So if your goal is to catch a bunch of fish, you don't want to sit on the same fish forever. I wasted, since that big fish here, I've probably been here for 10 minutes trying to get another bite. And I could probably stay here another 20 minutes and might catch one more, two more, who knows. But if I found another tree full of fish, I'd catch 3 or 4 more pretty quick. Keeping on the move is a very important part of being successful in catching numbers of fish. I have fun doing this, so even if I don't catch them, I have fun just trying to figure them out. And then getting hung up never helps anything. But I got the trick that usually works. Just like that. And I'm fishing again. Okay, so a little bit of technique there on how I think I can maybe get another fish or two extra out of the school without busting them out. And like I say, those black crappie you're gonna catch 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, but that's it. Out here pre-fishing for a tournament on Saturday. It's a couple days away. Really just thought I was gonna catch a few black crappie. They weren't really tournament fish, but just having some fun with them. But did accidentally stick a tournament fish. That, yeah, it probably doesn't make that much difference, but you don't want to pressure your fish too much 2 days before the tournament. All right, guys, I want to tip a little spiritual application now with this video. I don't know how much you guys saw, but I pulled up to this tree full of fish. I say full of fish. It had 8 or 10 fish on it, and so I pulled up there. I dropped my jig down about 4 feet above them. Couldn't quite get them to commit to anything. I drove it a little bit more, about 3 foot above them, and that's when the first one, you could see him start doing his wiggle thing and nosing up and heading toward my jig. He finally got up there, ran it down, and got it. And so when I finally got it close enough to him, what I assume was going through his head was he was asking the question, is that something I want to eat? And apparently he decided it was, and he started seeking after it. So we got to ask and we got to seek. When he finally caught up to it, he knocked fire out of it. So got to ask, seek, knock there. That first fish. But those fish are kind of like us. Let's just say for a second, just for the sake of making my point here, that being up there in my hand is the best thing that could ever happen to those crappie. We all know that's not true, but let's just say for the sake of my illustration here that it is. So when I'm over here in western Barker County and that little tree full of crappie is over there in Bob Sandler Lake, there's no way they can get to me. But when I hook up my boat and I drive over there and I launch on Bob Sandler and I drive out there and I find them on that tree, well, they're still 25 feet down. There's no way that those crappie can get up there and get to me until I drop that jig down to them. Once I drop that jig to them, now they have a way. Some of them accept it, some of them commit to it, and some of them end up in my hand. But most of them did not. I think I caught 4 out of that bunch. And those crappie are a lot like people. When God
seeks us out and finds us, and He sent Jesus down to earth to bring us back up to Him. Some of us react to Jesus like that first fish and just right away commit, and they ask, seek, and knock, and they commit to Jesus, and they end up ascending to the Father up in heaven. Um, Others may kind of seek and look and half-heartedly commit, but not fully commit, and those don't make it. Others, kind of like me, some of them watched that jig for quite a while, seen it several times before they finally decided to give it a try. And that's kind of how I was in my life. I didn't commit right away, but eventually I got hooked, and I'm so glad about that. But you see, most of the fish down there didn't. They saw it. They may have did a little shimmy or something. May have reacted somewhat, but they didn't commit. They didn't seek after Him and commit. And I couldn't persuade them. I could not convince them to to come commit to my jig and end up in my hand. And that's the same way with a lot of humanity. So we have to ask ourselves, well, what's our situation? How are we going to react when Jesus comes knocking? Are we going to commit? Are we going to not commit, not fully commit? Are we going to just ignore Him? So hopefully all of us will end up getting hooked and ended up in the Father's hand up there in the wonderful world of heaven. So that's my goal here, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, learned something from it. And as always, remember, ask, seek, knock.